Donald Trump in utter panic and turmoil. His meltdown late last night was a sight to behold. He was pretending that he is now in support of the House voting to release the Epstein files. He posted a long, rambling message where he said, "Of course I always wanted the House to release the Epstein files. That was always my position." But when you actually read what he says, "I think that the House oversight should receive whatever they are, quote, legally entitled to." And let me tell you what the plan is, folks. Since Donald Trump has ordered the Department of Justice to go after Democrats in connection with Epstein, he goes, "That's who the real villains are. Go after the Democrats." What they are going to say, let me just call it out right now, is that because of this investigation, the House Oversight Committee is entitled to no documents because the investigation, pun intended, trumps disclosure obligations, supersedes disclosure obligations, and thus no documents are going to be turned over. Let me make the prediction that's where they are headed with this. Especially comes at a time where we've seen additional emails get released, like this one right here. I mean, it was released before, but we're seeing these ones surface. Jeffrey Epstein to Steve Bannon a few months before Epstein's ultimately arrested and dies. Quote, "Now you can understand why Trump wakes up in the middle of the night sweating when he hears that you and I are friends." That's Epstein to Steve Bannon, and that's sent June 28th, 2019. He'll die a few months after that message. Just think about that right there and what's actually going to be in these files. Now, as Donald Trump is spiraling out of control, he continues to attack Marjorie Taylor Greene. He now refers to her as Marjorie Trader Brown, a whack job, wacky Marjorie Trader Brown. Remember, green turns to brown when there is rot involved. Donald Trump posts yesterday evening is working overtime to try and portray herself as a victim. In actuality, she is the cause of all of her own problems. The fact is, nobody cares about this traitor to our country. Donald Trump calling Marjorie Taylor Greene a traitor to our country. Marjorie Taylor Greene, before Trump posted that, she talked about the threats that she was getting, death threats that she was receiving. Security firms were reaching out to her, telling her that her life may be in jeopardy. And Donald Trump just keeps on going, saying that she is a traitor. Should also be noted that earlier in the day on Sunday, Donald Trump attacked Indiana State Senator Greg Goode because Indiana did not agree to a mid-decade gerrymander, and Trump blamed Greg Goode, called this Republican a rhino. Greg Goode received multiple death threats yesterday, and he posted a message statement from Senator Goode. "This evening, my family and I were victims of a swatting incident during which a fake communication was sent to law enforcement officials." So Donald Trump causing threats to be directed Marjorie Taylor Greene as well as Goode of Indiana. I want to show you this other layer of Donald Trump's plan where he pretends that he now supports the release of the Epstein files. But as I mentioned, because he ordered the investigation into Democrats, now my view is the DOJ is going to claim the House oversight and the people are entitled to no documents while the investigation remains pending. He's going to shift this over now to Pam Bondi because MAGA Mike was not able to fend off the discharge petition. But also one of the things I think it's important to note, in the Senate, you have the MAGA Republican Senator Barrasso, who does not commit to holding a Senate vote on an Epstein files release. And this would be the guy who would determine basically him and Thune, the majority leader, if it would get to the floor. And so I think Donald Trump also believes that the Senate will block it. So Trump knew he was going to get humiliated by the House. And that, remember I was saying I thought there would be, go back a few days ago, I said, I'm hearing that there may be over 100 Congress members in the House that were going to vote to release this, which would have been humiliating for Trump. So Trump's now pretending, oh, I always wanted it released. I mean, that's how stupid he thinks we are. I always wanted a release. But in the Senate, he's got his MAGA Republicans who won't commit to even holding a vote on the release. I want you to watch this. Here, play this clip.
If the Epstein measure passes the House, will it get a vote in the Senate?
It'll come to the Senate. We'll take a look at it. If it passes the House, we'll see what it says. And we all want accountability and transparency. But to me, this is not about truth. It's not about justice. This is about an attempt by the Democrats to make President Trump a lame duck president. And I'm not going to aid and abet them in their efforts to do that.
But you don't commit to a vote, Senator? You don't commit to holding a vote if the Epstein measure passes in the House? Just very quickly, we're almost out of time.
Well, but what I've said and what Senate Leader Thune has said is we'll look at it. We'll look at what's come over. I don't even know that it's going to pass the House. The Senate will make a decision. We'll have a discussion about it and make a decision from there.
And let me just read for you what Donald Trump's post is so you can just read it for yourself regarding the release of the Epstein files. He goes, as I said on Friday night aboard Air Force One to the fake news media, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide and it's time to move on from this Democrat hoax perpetrated by radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the great success of the Republican Party, including our recent victory on the Democrat shutdown. The Department of Justice has already turned over tens of thousands of pages to the public on, quote, Epstein, end quote, are looking at various Democrat operatives, Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, Larry Summers, etc., and their relationship to Epstein, and the House Oversight Committee can have whatever they are legally entitled to. I don't care. And that's all in caps. All I do care about is that Republicans get back on point. Do you see the language that he used right there where he said, I've ordered the investigation into Democrat operatives. They can have what they are legally entitled to. That to me means they're not going to turn over everything. But let's pay attention to what's going to be happening this week. When Donald Trump was heading onto Air Force One from Florida on that, where he was hiding over the weekend on the taxpayer dime, he said he didn't want to talk about the Epstein files when he was asked. Play this clip.
Representative Massey says he's concerned that the Epstein probe you are calling for could be a smokescreen to block the release of more files. Is that the case?
Well, I don't want to talk about it because fake news like you're a terrible reporter, and fake news like you, they just keep bringing that up to deflect from the tremendous success of the Trump administration. So a guy like Massey, his poll numbers are showing he's at 6% approval rating right now. And we call him Rand Paul Jr. because he never votes for the Republican Party. So they're using Jeffrey Epstein as a deflection from the tremendous success that we're having as a party.
He then yelled at a Bloomberg reporter, will you let me finish? Will you let me finish what I'm saying? Here, play this clip.
Tell him, will you let me finish my statement? You are the worst. You're with Bloomberg, right? You are the worst. I don't know why they even have you.
And then he had Todd Blanche, his deputy attorney general and former criminal defense lawyer, says, what we're really committed on here in the Trump administration is we're focused on finding anybody out there who was involved, and we're going to hold them accountable. You mean Donald? I mean, you mean the guy you work for? You mean your old client and I guess your current client? You mean the guy who was found guilty on 34 felony counts in the case where you were his criminal attorney? Here's what Todd Blanche says. Here, play this clip.
Anyway, and so we're going to continue to find out if there's anybody responsible, anybody that hasn't been held accountable, and if they're out there, we'll find them.
Yeah, I think most Americans would say the fact it has been going on for more than a decade, and it seems like nobody's left to prosecute or bring charges against. You can't seem to find evidence is what's concerning to people, and more transparency the better. So thank you.
And then Donald Trump continues on the deranged and just completely offensive, everything he says is offensive and deranged, but statements that this Thanksgiving prices are 25% cheaper and that Walmart has said that it's 25% cheaper. We've gone over this 100 times, right? The new Walmart Thanksgiving list includes 14 items this year, whereas in 2024 under former President Biden, it included 21 items. Most of this year's items on the Walmart list of 14 versus 21 are the generic value Walmart brand, as opposed to last year were more of the name brands. And we all just know when we leave our home that it's not cheaper. Like we know that things are not cheaper. We know that Thanksgiving this year is not 25% cheaper, but he just thinks we're stupid. He thinks that, yeah, yes, of course, Donald, you were the guy saying release the Epstein files. Okay. You've been telling everybody not to. This whole thing has been you covering it up every step of the way. And now you go, I told them to do it. Like, we're not dumb. We know that Thanksgiving prices are not 25% cheaper now. We know all the prices are higher. But here he is saying that the prices are cheaper right now. Play this clip.
And again, I go to Walmart and other companies, and in every case, it's about 25%. That a meal, a Thanksgiving meal and surroundings are 25% lower than it was under the Biden administration. That's a big fact. And that comes from Walmart and others that do that. Okay?
And one of the videos we made at the MeidasTouch network that I want to share with you, because we did a video on this earlier in the day yesterday, where Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was on state regime media yesterday, known as Fox, and he was saying that the trade deal with China is not even complete yet, because Maria Bartiromo was saying, I've heard that China is not sending over rare earth elements. They're still claiming these export controls. If there are companies that have any relationship with the U.S. military, didn't Donald claim that they were going to just allow all of the rare earth elements to be released? By the way, under Biden, the rare earth elements were released. There was no export controls. Under Biden, there was 27 million metric tons of soybeans being exported by American farmers. Now, this year, there was zero. And China said, maybe we'll take 12 million metric tons. But the thing is, China's got so much soybeans now from Brazil and Argentina. By the way, America bailed out Argentina for $40 billion while screwing over American farmers and ripping away health care from Americans. I mean, $40 billion could protect the Affordable Care Act for the remainder of the year. But anyway, we gave it to Argentina. Then they sold their soybeans to China to undercut us. But China has all these soybeans, so they don't need our soybeans right now anyway. So there is no deal. And Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's like, well, there is no deal yet. We hope to have a deal by Thanksgiving. It's like y'all kept on pretending there was a deal in May. Then you said there was a deal in June. Then you said there was a deal in September. Then there was another deal. Like, you keep making up every 2 months that there's a deal. There's no with China, okay? And now you're saying the deal's coming in Thanksgiving. Just like your fake healthcare plan during the first term. And now, give me 2 more weeks. It's coming in 2 more weeks. Here, watch this video. They think you're stupid is what we call it. Here, play this clip right here.
We've made a deal with China. We've made a deal with probably 4 or 5 different countries.
We have a deal. Now, every year we'll renegotiate the deal. I'll be going to China in April, and he'll be coming here sometime after that.
Is China holding back rare earth magnets from companies tied to the U.S. military right now?
Yeah, Maria, I think that Wall Street Journal reporting is not very accurate. We haven't even finished the agreement, which we hope to have done by Thanksgiving.
And speaking of they think you're stupid, this is the propaganda coming out of the Department of Homeland Security right now. They literally create this like bizarre, awful propaganda where they're like, we want to be very clear. We never do pepper spray into vehicles. And then they show a video of themselves pepper spraying into a vehicle. Like, it's not even good propaganda, as Aaron Reichland Melnick says. Here, play this clip of this bizarre video from DHS. Let's play it.
Hi, I'm Lauren Bick, Deputy Assistant Secretary at the Department of Homeland Security. And I'm here to set the record straight on a few fake news stories from this week. First, we have another disgusting pepper spray hoax. Guys, ICE does not pepper spray children. Here are the facts. During an operation, rioters began throwing objects at agents and blocking the road. This did not occur in a Sam's Club parking lot. Border Patrol deployed crowd control measures and safely cleared the area. When rioters impede law enforcement operations, they are putting others in danger. These journalists should stop smearing ICE law enforcement and start covering the facts.
Well, there you have it, folks. We'll keep you posted every step of the way. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. We appreciate you so much.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to add the MeidasTouch podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts for new updates every single day.